Hello and welcome back to War Sales. We're going to go in against these Botanians. Yes, we're actually fighting against the Botanians this time around. I decided that I was going to make peace with the Northern Empire because, I mean, no offense, but I feel like it was a bit of a waste of time, to be honest. I felt like it was a bit of a waste of time for us to go all the way over to where was it now? Urzina Castle or something like that in Khuzait territory. I thought it was really... I was kind of in two minds about it to begin with, as you know. I was thinking to myself, is this actually worth it? Is it actually a really bad or good idea for us to head over there? And, you know, all intents and purposes, yeah, generally, it's a good idea because you can, you know, eliminate a faction. You can eliminate a faction and you can be like, oh yes, that faction is now completely gone. We don't have to worry about them any further, which is obviously very nice. That's great, you know, anytime you have the ability to eliminate a faction, it's probably a good idea to just go ahead and do it. Because otherwise you're going to have to deal with those guys forever and it's going to be extremely annoying. And that's obviously something that I personally don't really like. I don't really like leaving them alive with just, you know, extremely small amounts of fiefs. I mean, literally, they have, what, one fief? They have one fief remaining, and I really don't like doing that. You know, because if we leave them like this, what's going to happen is, obviously, they've lost all their vassals, right? Or shall we say, they had lost all of their vassals. We had most of them in our possession because we had taken them prisoner, of course, right? We had taken them prisoner. So what are we going to do from there? Well, we have the advantage in every single way. You know, we have no vassals that can actually fight with us. They're going to be all in prison. So it's super easy, right? Yeah, that is the idea, right? That's the idea. However, obviously now that we've made peace, all of the vassals have now been freed. And yeah, the thing is, I couldn't go back and actually take that castle because we had too few units. And what was going to happen is we were going to be getting some weird sally out thing going on, I assume. I didn't try it again, but you know, I'm just saying, I think that in general, I think the smarter play was to just leave it alone, despite the fact that we would have been able to eliminate them instantly. But if we think about how effective, just think about how effective this particular faction is going to be now, because from my perspective, what do they have? Well, that's the point, you know. That is actually the point. They have basically nothing. They are pretty much done. Every single thing about them is, well, basically as bad as it could be, because they're in a place that isn't actually even their own culture, which means they may have issues with loyalty. They may have issues with a settlement rebellion, potentially. And indeed, obviously, because it is a castle rather than a town, it is making things a lot easier for us economically as well. So it's very harsh for them to actually sustain any kind of army. And, well, that's kind of what you want, isn't it? Yes, that's kind of what you want from your opponents. But, yeah, so generally, I do think it's a good idea to eliminate factions like that. And that's the reason why I actually went for it, despite the fact that my inclination was just to leave them, because I don't really like traveling such a far distance to besiege something, because what's going to happen is if we do get into a battle, or shall we say, into a war with another faction, they are almost immediately going to think to themselves, oh yes, we can attack that you know, that outlying castle, and that's going to be extremely difficult for us to defend, or any of our vassals to defend as well, because we are going to be stretched thin then at that point. So now, obviously, bear in mind, as you can see here, I did actually go back to you know, our friendly territory. And you can see here, I did get some war-proven people. Where are my scions? There you go. There are my scions as well. I just tried to get as many units as I could. I even started to get some Nord younglings as well. I'm not a big fan of the base troop tree for the Nords. However, I do actually really like the Sky Gods Chosen. I think they're actually really good. And you can see here, obviously, I mean, okay, look, from a stats perspective, they're not that good. And also, their bows are not exactly that good either. But look at what they come equipped with. They actually have shields, and they actually have axes. And yes, their armor is pretty terrible too. So, generally, I wouldn't rely on these archers to pretty much do anything, you know, super important. But they are actually kind of decent at doing damage if you need some archers in a pinch. So I don't know, I kind of reserve judgment a little bit on these guys. I do think that they are pretty good, and they are good for what they are, but they are definitely not as good as other ranged solutions. How did the... Wait a minute. Did you see what just happened here? The garrison... Huh. Alright. This is basically pointless. This is basically pointless for me to go in here. Okay, I'm gonna tell you something right now. If I was off screen in this particular situation, right now, what I would do is I would literally just try to get away. I would just try to get away straight away. There is very, in my opinion at least, there is very little point in me actually attacking here. I highly doubt I'm going to be able to inflict any amazing amount of casualties on the opponent, because it's going to be, well, they're going to have so many people on the field that it's going to be extremely difficult for us to deal damage. But despite the fact that my common sense and or you know, general previous experiences are telling me to try to get away and try to retreat from this situation, because let's face it, the garrison were the ones to engage upon us, which was really weird actually, because usually they don't do that. Usually they need a vassal to be able to do that. And or I think they just had really good timing, because their timing has now made it possible for that army that is nearby to be included in the battle itself. And that's indeed making some issues for us, as you can quite clearly tell. Yes, very big issues indeed. Okay, so now here we go. What we're gonna do... Yeah, I was kind of hoping they wouldn't have any cavalry, but they do. So, yeah, we're going to go over here. No, we can't. Okay, we can't actually go over here. This is the edge of the battlefield. As you see, if I go a little bit further up here, you'll see, yep, there's the red wall. We can't do anything about that. Well, that's unfortunate. I guess what we can do is we can try to get our forces up here. Just going to zoom ahead a little bit, just to make sure that my forces are going to make their way over a little bit quicker. And the question is, do we want to put my guys... Yeah, I guess we'll put them into a shield wall. I mean, why not? We could technically... actually, you know what? Let's put them in a square. Let's put them in a square. I feel like maybe that's going to be better. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Let's put my archers a little bit higher here. right, so we're gonna have to retreat from here. Unfortunate. I kind of thought that. Unfortunately, I kind of knew that this was gonna happen, but yeah, that's just how it goes. That is literally just how it goes sometimes. We just have to deal with the fact that the garrison jumped the gun, actually jumped the gun, and did a very good job at getting the enemy army invested in this battle immediately. That was extremely, extremely good for them. Thankfully, though, as you can quite clearly tell, we do have, well, I mean, the remaining forces that I have in my army are literally just Huskars. I only have 190. Yes, I have 191 Huskars plus these guys. And that's it. That's literally all I have. The funny thing is, the reason why the reason why we suffered so dramatically for some reason is the fact that my Huskars were not in the first wave. Again, I don't know why that is. Little bit strange, I have to admit. We're going to give Thule all of our wonderful, wonderful fiefs. Well, shall we say all of his wonderful fiefs that he's taking? Because he's actually taking these, as you can see right here. He took Bannerlord Castle and he took Neviank's Castle as well. He's running around with an army of 580. I think he had 1,100 beforehand, but he is placing a bunch of troops in the garrison every single time he can. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to show you very, very quickly how I resupply after we, you know, sustain a number of casualties, because it does take its toll, and it does take quite a little bit of time to actually get them back. It isn't super time intensive any further, and the reason for this is, as you might expect, loyalty. Yeah, it makes a big difference. Okay, so we have a yeah, as you can see right here, Alder, no. It's a marriage proposal from this guy for Alder. This is not going to work because Alder obviously is our medic, and we really do not want to lose her. Thank you very much. Let's not try to make that same mistake. Yeah, that would be hilarious. Anyway, yeah, hopefully we'll be okay here, and generally, as you can see, we can also repair our ships. We get some more bosun skill, which is really nice, and we can also obviously sell some stuff. As you see, I almost have 11 million in cash, which is actually insane, because I don't need it. That's the funny thing. But yes, as you can see, look at this. This is what I'm talking about right here. Look at this. I can recruit 30 troops instantaneously from this, and we are literally going to be having a great time. It is going to be fantastic, because what we can now do is we can go over to... Oh, wait a minute. They've actually changed the positionings of these villages. Okay, that's interesting. Lagshofen was actually over here before, if you recall. Do you remember that? They seem to have changed the positionings of these. But yeah, as you can see, this is where I get all of the shield biters and warfangs, hearthguards, and so on and so forth, because these guys literally, I mean, look at them. They're all tier 4s and above. They're literally all tier 4s and above. It's actually crazy how incredibly easy it is for us to get troops like this. And it's the same thing with this village as well. I'm pretty sure we are going to be able to recruit from... Yeah, we don't have as good relation from here. But, yeah, it's good enough, right? It's good enough. Because all I'm going to do now is I'm literally just going to go like this. Going to go to this village, then the town, then all the way around in a circle to the other villages, and then basically just continue going around in a circle. That's literally what I do every single time. And it works very, very nicely. Unfortunately, losing troops, that's just how it goes. But kind of wish we wouldn't have lost that harshly. I'm not entirely sure why we lost 100, but I guess that is to be expected, considering we did have a pretty significant amount of enemies. So not a big fan of that, but yeah, as I said, can't really do much about it. You know, I did say, you know, let's try to get away straight away, you know, because I was almost 100% certain that there wasn't going to be anything that we could do there. Oh no, what has just transpired is the worst thing that could have happened, actually. This is bad. Alright, so, yeah, our quartermaster literally just died. Yep, as you can see right there. He literally just died. Thankfully, we do have our wife here who does have 113 in steward, so she can take over just about. But unfortunately, yeah, he's gone. He's out of there. He's literally died from old age. Thauric, let's actually just take a look at him real quick. 72. Wow. He made it to 72. Okay, good work, sir. Good work. Okay. Yeah, okay, right. Well, there you go. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, so yeah, we are indeed now back to full strength, basically. I should have... Wait a minute. I should have more than this. Wait a minute. Let me actually just see. Yeah, no, we're fine. We're fine. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that we were actually okay. What's going on here? How do I have 544 now? What's actually going on with that? Must be a bug or something like that. I mean, not a bug, but you know, it's displaying the carry capacity or troop capacity for our ships at the same time, and I think that's making a big difference to the display of what the number is currently. Anyway, Thule, as you can see, has been doing a fantastic job. He is actually re-besieging Cranero Castle, and he has indeed taken a lot of territory by himself. I'm actually very impressed by that. What we should probably do is I'm going to see if I can... I can't create an army. I cannot create an army while I'm at sea? Oh, okay. That's kind of interesting. I thought that we would have easily been able to do that, but okay, apparently not. I guess that's fine. Anyway, let's move on here. See if we can actually just sell a couple of things as while we can here. I'm just trying to see if we can maybe purchase some food as well. There we go. Sell that. There we are. Nice. And then we can leave. And what we're going to do is we're going to go straight up through here because Ormondfard Castle is currently under siege. We have another offer. Nope. We're not going to do that. Thank you very much. We really don't want any of our people leaving. This is also the reason why, if you're going to play on fast mode, it's very important. There we go. Yeah, some people are actually leaving here, so we're going to have to get rid of these Nord younglings. But that's really the reason, if you're playing on fast mode, that you really want to make sure you have a kind of a backup plan in regards to companions. In other words, if you do have a companion that is getting a little bit older, you know, 60 or above, I guess. I'm actually not entirely sure what the risk level is, to be honest. Yeah, I don't really know. I have this is kind of unknown territory to me because I haven't really experienced a huge amount of natural deaths, because most of the time we conquer the map before any of that actually happens. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see what actually transpires here otherwise. And the thing is, do I want to fight these guys or not? Because I'm thinking to myself right now, do I just want to move on and try and see if we can take Druimore Castle while they take Ormondfard Castle? They are going to weaken themselves quite dramatically as a result. Let's try and see if I can call some people to help me out here. Osbeer is 1 day away. He is the closest, and everyone else is basically busy, so we're not going to be doing anything there. We're just going to call Osbeer, and hopefully he will help us out. We're not going to go for any kind of starvation here. All I'm going to do is just destroy the catapults, and then we're just going to go straight on in, and hopefully have our siege rams and so on and so forth ready as well. That would be nice. Now, there he is. Okay, thank you. Very good. And, Garmy has now reached the next level, so... let's go for endurance here. There we go. Very nice. And we should be pretty good. I mean, the garrison, as you could see, doesn't... Oh, never mind. They actually do have 12 Battanian Fiant champions. That might be a little bit harsh. A little bit harsh for us to deal with, but I don't think it's going to be super bad. Funnily enough, all these vassals are going to come out of nowhere now. And once again, they're going to do that really annoying thing, aren't they? Where they come in against us when yeah, they're gonna pull the garrison in, aren't they? I have a bad feeling that they're gonna pull the garrison in. Yeah, if they do that, I think we're going to be maybe okay. I actually don't know, to be honest. I feel like we are going to be in a pretty bad spot because my forces are... my forces are primarily low levels, but the funny thing is, if we had the proper spawning, we would be completely fine. We would have no issues whatsoever. And yes, as you can see, they are bringing the garrison in here, but the garrison itself isn't really that dangerous. As I said, they do only have 12 Battanian Fian champions, which isn't that bad. But I gotta admit, the amount of times that the AI is bringing the garrison is a little bit... I feel like it's a little bit over the top at this point. I feel like they are being a little bit too... I don't know, a little bit too harsh in that regard. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Let's put Osbeer on here, there we go. And who is having them? Yeah, this guy, there we go, he can do that. And we have horse archers, do we? Apparently, I don't know, we don't have horse archers, but for some reason they wanted me to put that on there. Alright, well, this is gonna be, well, it's going to be another one of these, isn't it? It's going to be another one of these. Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute. This might actually be insanely good. Oh, if we could make this work... Oh, I am so pleased that they're not restricting us from coming over here. Okay, this is great. This is really, really nice. Okay, so all we're going to do is going to put our forces round about here, put them into a shield wall. Not right now, actually. Let's not put them into a shield wall yet, because they're otherwise just going to make it take way too long to get over here. Okay, let's just get my forces over here. I do have a lot of cavalry for some reason. Why do I have so many cavalry? Okay, I guess that's fine. And I have a lot of archers as well. Well, kind of. Let's put these guys over here. Okay, so... here we go. Hello there, friends. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to charge. Just going to charge them. That's it. Just going to charge them right now. And that's all we're going to do. And then we are just going to try and murder as many of these Battanian Fian champions as I can handle. Obviously, these fellows are really, really good. They have good armor. They've got good weapons. They're quite difficult to deal with in general. They have amazing damage from range as well. Well, we eliminated 400. That is clearly not enough. And we do seem to be having some pretty big issues in this episode. Got to say that. We're losing 54 people. That's actually not even bad, to be honest. Let's actually see whether we're going to get attacked outside here. No, it doesn't seem like it. Alright, well, that's perfectly fine. Obviously, we don't really want to retreat from this, but we did kind of do some damage, I guess. I don't know. It feels to me like we're having one of those episodes. You know, one of those episodes where it just tends to be kind of 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but it, at the moment, feels like we're stepping forward once and then literally stepping backward once, and that's what it feels like right now, which is not exactly great. That is not what you want, especially at this point in the game. But funnily enough, I have a very strong army. That's the funny thing. I have a very strong army, and I don't really have anything else that I can do, you know? That's the funny thing. I literally just have what I have. I have I mean, look at this. I have 192 Huskarls, but somehow we are having problems. Somehow we're having issues winning. I don't know. That's kind of strange to me. Alright, so here we go. I'm actually giving Bannerlord Castle to Mr. Thule again, and indeed I am now going to be attacked by, well, unfortunately, yeah. Oh, this is a... This has been a chore. This has been a chore today for some reason. I don't know why, but the opponent has been extremely difficult to deal with. And the funny thing about them is that generally this would not be the case, right? Generally we would not have so much of a problem here, but these guys are fundamentally making everything extremely difficult for us. I don't know why, but they are turning up at the exact right moments. They are performing basically every single action they need to do to thwart our attempts at doing anything productive. And that's kind of harsh, to be honest. That is kind of harsh, because we're going into battles, we're ending up having to retreat every single time. I'm not sure how we're really going to make a big impact here. I guess the Botanians... I mean, obviously they had many more troops than we did in the last couple of battles, which obviously does make a pretty big difference. I mean, you know, numbers are generally going to help you more than anything else, unless your army is entirely made of recruits, of course, you know. I mean, I don't need to tell you that, you know. But yeah, the point is, hopefully we'll be okay if I can just kind of stand here now. And kind of hoping... Yeah, I'm going to put them into a shield wall. Going to put them in a shield wall here. And these guys are going to charge in. Let's tell my cavalry to charge as well. Make sure that they're not going to get completely murdered by them. You know, just nothing for nothing, you know. Want to make sure that our forces are actually doing something. And if we can just do a little bit of damage to these guys. All I really want to try to do most of the time whenever I'm in a battle like this is just eliminate the cavalry. Just eliminate the cavalry as much as possible. And if I can, I will try to get a couple of kills and some other things, try to do some damage while I am running through them. And that's pretty much it. I mean, it's pretty simple, you know? It's pretty simple, but unfortunately, the opponent has other ideas. As you can quite clearly tell. They have other ideas. Let me actually just put these guys into a line formation once again. I want to make sure that they can use their axes if they want to. I think them using their throwing axes is probably going to be somewhat good here. This guy is a horse archer. Let's tell him to charge. Didn't realize we had one on the field. And maybe, just maybe, we can continue to eliminate a number of people around here. These Botanian Fian champions are obviously going to be exceptionally good at what they do. But I am almost 100%, I'm going to say it right now, I'm almost 100% certain we're going to be okay here. but that is just purely because we're kind of on the same level in regards to numbers, and obviously in regards to the fact that we actually have high-tier troops. The enemy doesn't have as many high-tier troops, which is exactly the reason why I feel like our numbers are kind of good. Having the same kind of differential in regards to army capacity is pretty good for us. I mean, obviously, at the moment, they are outnumbering us, but because we have so many high-tier troops, it kind of balances out. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm talking about here. Anyway, we can hopefully... I'm going to tell these guys to charge in now, actually. I'm going to tell them to charge in. This is definitely going to be... I think this is definitely going to be the play. As you can see, they are now running away, which is perfect. That is what we want. One thing we do want to get, though, is we want to get some nice kills on these Britannian Fians. Thank you very much. We do not want them to do too much damage to us. These guys are all very mixed. It's very, very surprising. They have... Some of these troops are amazing, and some of these troops are absolutely terrible. So, yeah, I'm very much hoping we'll be okay with that. Let's actually move our archers down here. I think my cavalry is already charging in. How many did we lose so far? 16. How many Huskars? See, now, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Look at what we have. I literally have Huskars on the field at this point in time. I have 59 of them, and they are absolutely dominating. They are dominating the opponent. Whereas, for some reason, whenever we get like a massive outnumbering from a garrison or something like that sallying out, we always seem to have every other random troop just spawning in instead of the Huskars. I don't know why that is, because as I say, all of my settings have remained the same for years, and there's no reason to believe that that would change now randomly. But yeah, that's kind of weird. I'm gonna get shot to pieces now, probably, aren't I? Yeah, almost. But yeah, as you can see, these guys are literally just falling before us extremely, extremely easily, and there is nothing that they can do. This is done. We are 100% done here. No problem whatsoever. I can probably just zoom ahead, and as you can see by the right side of the screen, we are absolutely destroying them in every single way, which is exactly what we want. So that's it. That is game over. They're retreating, and that's exactly the kind of thing that we want to see every single time. He actually died as well. There was actually an enemy that died here. That is pretty crazy. Okay, so yeah, this is exactly what we want. We want this, and we want to be able to take them prisoner, obviously, as much as we possibly can. And indeed, we're now going to be able to recruit some people. I didn't go back, by the way. I did not go back to my home territory. I literally just went to nearby my nearest garrison, which I think... Isn't it Revel? Isn't it Revel that's the closest to me right now? Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Let me actually just take a quick look. Okay, let's just increase my morale a little bit. Okay, yeah. So as you can see, where do I actually own? Yeah, Revel. Revel is not mine. Did I give that to someone else? Okay, apparently I gave that to someone else. Saniopa is mine, obviously. Okay, yeah. So apparently, yeah, that's kind of harsh, huh? I actually thought, for some reason, I thought that was mine. Oh well, never mind. Doesn't really matter. Anyway, the fact is, I'm running around with a slightly smaller army now, just purely because I wanted to test to see whether the Huskars would be introduced into the battle earlier or later. And it does seem as though they're actually doing a pretty fantastic job of spawning them in exactly when we need them, in comparison to how it was before in the various previous, previous battles, where we've actually seen them be completely useless because they are not in the battle yet, which is very strange. As I say, I don't know why that has started happening, but yeah, not great. Okay, so let's see if we can do something here. I mean, obviously, the funny thing is, if I get the opportunity, if I have the ability to do so, as in, if vassals don't appear out of nowhere and try to attack us, I will be able to take this pretty easily, even without starvation, I think. I could be wrong about that. I could be wrong about that because, I mean, you know, let's face it, if we're going to go in here, we're going to have to fight these guys. How many Battalion Fiat champions do they have? Not many, actually. Not many. Okay, so ransom offer right there. Okay, I'm going to have to be a little bit careful here as well. Yafnir. Yafnir has actually reached age 5, surprisingly enough. Okay, are they going to go in now? Yeah, they have their birthdays around the same time. That is actually quite funny. Yeah, so now let's just take a quick look. I'm going to be very, very careful here. I'm going to be changing the time frame. There we go. Okay, so are they actually going to be coming in? I think they are going to come in anytime now. Gotta be careful. Alright, so I basically waited until the very last moment here because what we're going to do is we are just drawing them in. That's it. We are just drawing them in as best as we can. We have a vote to, you know, preside over. And what we're going to do is we are immediately just going to be taking them out. Look at that. Boom, boom, boom. That's it. That is all we needed. Now, these guys, and I was getting sick of this, right? I was getting absolutely livid at the possibility that these fellows would be able to bring in the garrison every single time. Imagine how annoying that is, right? Literally, you know how annoying that is. Okay, let's go for two-handed. Not sure if he's going to use a two-handed, but, you know, why not? One-handed and cunning and so on and so forth. Okay, there you go. He's done, and then we have more endurance. That's actually kind of good. Is it kind of good? I actually don't know. Okay, so here we go. This is going to be another, hopefully relatively similar battle. We're not going to be getting a super good battlefield this time, unfortunately, but hopefully it's not going to really make too much difference. And now, as you can see, yes indeed, once again we have 81 Huskars. We have had multiple times in previous battles where we've had either we've had Huskars on the field and they've basically killed 0 people, or we've had no Huskars at all and they have been sidelined to a secondary spawn location or a secondary spawn timing, and that has made things extremely difficult for us in the first wave or two. And that's exactly the reason why, you know, it's really nice to actually have this be a thing now, because we can literally do so much damage. Let's just kill these guys. I'm going to put these guys into a shield wall formation just because they're going to be dealing with the enemy's infantry, and I want to make sure that they survive as best as possible until we can get over there and actually help them out. As you can see, we're obviously having to deal with a number of Battanian horsemen, which is not exactly great. Hopefully my archers will be able to assist us so that they don't have a huge amount to do by themselves. We do have Empire cavalry as well. Yes, they're starting to gang up on us now. That's okay. We don't have to really worry about that too much. I don't think we've lost too many forces. Actually, funnily enough, I feel like maybe we should just charge in here. I don't know. It feels to me like maybe we should charge in here. I'm not sure. I think that personally could have a dramatic impact, considering the fact that the enemy isn't really knowing what they're doing as... I don't know, as much. I don't know, maybe we do want to charge. The problem with charging is that we will receive a lot more casualties, but we will kill a lot more as well. Yeah, there we go. That's the order. That is the order that we wanted right there. Absolutely perfect, because what's happening now is we're able to completely overwhelm the opponent with amazing amounts of just sheer strength. Just absolute strength coming in from our Huskarls, and that is fundamentally shifting the balance in this battle here, so much so that look at what's happening now. The enemy has a huge amount of archers, and what's going to actually happen with these guys? Because, well, it's pretty clear from their strategy right now. They're not trying to consolidate. They're not trying to, you know, get all of their archers together or anything like that. No, no, no. They're not trying to do anything like that. So all they're doing is just standing here in a spread formation, which, I mean, technically isn't even a formation. Technically, this is literally just random placement right now. They're not actually trying to do anything you know, tactical or whatever. They're literally just spawning in and just randomly shooting from wherever. Gonna tell my infantry to charge in. I think they were already charging, hilariously, but I think they were using their thrown weapons. And I guess we should probably allow them to use their thrown weapons a little bit. Some free damage never hurt anyone, apart from the opponent, of course. And I think we should be okay with that. Yeah, now the enemy is running. Technically, I should have probably told them to hold their fire, as in, if we are, you know, charging, it's probably not a good idea to use our thrown weapons as it is, because I do personally like to have my forces just immediately go in there, but sometimes it's actually beneficial to just let your guys just throw their axes, throw their javelins, and all kinds of other stuff, because that is just going to destroy enemy shields. And generally, you know, if you have a critical mass of these guys, they can be very effective, you know, because 1, 2, 3 axes hitting one guy, probably going to die almost immediately. And I believe that is indeed a victory for us right there. There it is. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so once again, look at this. Look at this stark difference that this has made. Look at this. We now have Huskarls getting 315 kills, which is exactly what we needed in those previous battles. It's so funny because my Huskarls are completely dominating now. But beforehand, we were ending up losing 100, 150 people before the Huskarls would even enter the battle. And I think that really is the reason why we were having so many issues. At least that's what it seems like to me. I don't know. It feels like that. And that's the reason why it was so frustrating, because it's literally like, okay, I have an army that, no offense right now, but I have an army that does seem pretty strong. I mean, it should be, on paper, very, very powerful. Because, I mean, let's face it, you know, we've got over 200 Nord Huskarls. I mean, do I need 300 Nord Huskarls to beat something like that? But for me personally, I feel like that's maybe overkill, you know? Having 200 Huskarls feels like overkill. But anyway, what we're going to do is the same thing. We're just going to go straight back on in here, because obviously the enemy garrison only has 1 day worth of food remaining. As you can see, Gweth is running away. Has formed an army though, so that's a little bit problematic. But we are once again just going to be heading on in and trying to get the starvation activated. Obviously, there are a number of vassals that will be running around here. They'll try to they will definitely try to do something here. They will definitely try to do something. I'm not going to build any siege towers or anything like that. There is very little point in doing that right now, because we are more than likely going to have to quit the siege once again when the opponent decides to charge in and try to get the obligatory wonderful sally out that we all know and love. Ah, they're already going in? Really? Okay. That's very weird. That is an extremely weird decision. Okay, that's really weird. Okay, I'm kind of a bit... What? I'm shocked. I'm shocked by this, because look at what just happened. They literally just ran in and got themselves killed instantly without basically getting any... there was no benefit to that whatsoever. Very, very surprising. Okay, are you going to be coming in again? Do you want to fight? They do? They do want to fight? Okay. Well, that's very... That's kind of weird. I think this is kind of weird. I'm not going to make peace with the Britannians if they ask, by the way. If they ask, I am literally not going to. I'm going to stubbornly refuse, because this is one of those crusades that we now have to go on. A vengeance path that is filled with flames and blood and spikes and all manner of traps and so on and so forth. We just need to make sure that the opponent knows that we will not stop until they have been completely eliminated. Obviously, that's a little bit over the top, to be honest, because they haven't really done much. They've just been annoying. That's the that's the only reason. That is the only reason. They've just been annoying. So let's see if I can maybe do something here. These guys really do not want to fight us, and the reason why is because they're all at the exit there. They're all at the exit. I'm literally going to tell every single person that we have to charge in right now. I am literally going to go hyper-aggressive here. These guys clearly do not want to fight us, and there must be a reason for that. They must truly believe that they don't have any ability to win. And funnily enough, I don't know whether that's the case. I think that generally if they had just played a little bit differently, maybe they could have. But obviously, as I said, I do think that we have a very strong army right now. That's why I'm very surprised that we had such issues earlier on. But as I say, it's probably numbers. It's probably a numbers thing, which just goes to show that numbers sometimes mean everything in comparison to unit quality or whatever. Even though, funnily enough, you know, technically, if you have 1,000 recruits versus 100 Huskarls, who's going to win that? Well, I don't know, actually. I don't know who's going to win that, but that does seem a little bit, I don't know. I feel like 100 Huskarls would definitely win that, no? Surely. 100 Huskarls versus 1,000 recruits? Yeah, I think so, right? I don't know. Sometimes I think that maybe that's not the case, because just think about it. If you have, I don't know, let's just say that you have my battle size, because my battle size is a little bit lower than the maximum, just because I can't, my PC can't handle it. My PC can't do the higher levels of battle size without lagging. And in general, I don't know. I'm getting 300 people, 300 enemies on the field, and we have about 80. So that's, well, I mean, that's kind of harsh, you know. That's kind of harsh. So it's like what, almost, well, it's 3 to 1 basically, right? So almost 3 to 1, I guess. So it is kind of. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think that in general, the Huskarls would win this, because if you think about it, the recruits have the worst gear possible, and I highly doubt the Nords are going to have so many issues with that, right? Surely they shouldn't have so many problems. But yeah, we should have an easy victory right there. And I'm kind of surprised they actually wanted to even do this. I think they probably could have gotten away from me, to be honest. I think that they are much quicker than I am, but apparently, I don't know. Maybe they thought they had something here. I'm not sure. We're just gonna take these guys as best as we can right now. I kind of do need to convert people. Not a terribly big fan of doing that, to be honest, most of the time. But if we do convert, we're going to be able to fight for longer without having to return back to home base or anything like that. So that's kind of nice, right? Otherwise, we're just going to stay here once again. Just going to continue trying to compound the fact that they have 0 food. And hopefully that will be enough to starve out the garrison. However, that is going to be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.